Welcome back to another investor talking point. So here we help smart investors become smarter and savvy people become savvier. So our goal at the Wealth Muscles Club is to reach each and every South African and to help them understand the power of property investment. But of course, without the right structures in place, this is always impossible. Now, if you want to know more about the correct way to structure your investments or to protect you and your family and your future generations, then stick around to the end of this video and I'll tell you how you can join a free online training taking place this weekend. Now, speaking of the correct structures, this is the basis of today's talking point. We've obviously shared a number of videos about the importance of having trusts as part of your succession planning, but one of the questions that we get most often pertains to the need for an independent trustee. So for any trust to be recognized as a legal entity, it requires an independent trustee. But this is obviously not just anyone that can act as an independent trustee. So for instance, it cannot be a family member or friend or even the accountant who handles your books. This has to be a truly independent person with a strong knowledge of the trust laws. And without this, your trust can be seen as a sham and your assets could be taken away. So to talk a little bit more about the point of the independent trustee, I have our legal expert, Marishka Van Zyl, joining me. So Marishka, thanks so much for the time today.
Hi, Damien. Glad to be back.
Now, Marishka, what does it mean to give up control of the assets? Because I think this is one of the points that makes people the most nervous when they start a trust, because they feel like they're taking everything they own and they're putting it in the power of somebody else. So what power does that independent trustee actually have?
So when you give up control of your assets, remember that you can be a founder, a trustee, and a beneficiary. So basically, this means that ownership and control of these assets are transferred to the trustees. They do not hold these assets in their personal capacities. They administer these assets for the trust beneficiaries. So the previous owner can no longer transact as usual, but the trustees must agree to any transactions, and this is accompanied by a resolution. But if you are a trustee as well, you will be part of those decisions.
Now, Marishka, in the beginning, I mentioned that if a trust doesn't have the necessary things in place, for instance, like a bank account and an independent trustee, it could be seen as a sham trust. So could you just tell us a little bit more about what is a sham trust and what are some of the indications that a trust could be a sham trust?
So the first thing that we look at is that the founder, did he want to transfer these assets? And did he want it to no longer be a part of his personal estate? So we look at a few indications. Now, there's usually no independent trustee. The trustees disregard their fiduciary duty, meaning they do not act with the necessary care and diligence expected from them. The founder retains a high degree of power in the management of the trust, and there is one clear dominant trustee.
And Marishka, what will happen if a trust is declared an alter ego or a sham trust by, the law or anyone else?
Well, the trust will still exist, but as we see in the court case Rees versus Harris, the court will lift what we call the veil of the trust, and the assets will be presumed the personal assets of a founder or a trustee. They may then face income tax and estate duty, and even in severe cases, a criminal case may be opened. So ex-spouses may also then receive more cash or assets in the settlement, as these assets are deemed to be part of the person's or the joint estates.
And Marishka, when does an independent trustee need to be appointed?
So this is as soon as possible. It becomes more and more difficult to register a trust without one. If you do not currently have an independent trustee, it is important to appoint one now and to make sure that your trust is compliant.
And Marishka, I think a lot of the people that watch our videos might already have trusts or be part of a trust or a beneficiary, and they may not have an independent trustee or, they may be thinking about it. So what would happen in the case if there is no independent trustee on a trust?
Well, what I receive mostly, the most important problems, is any event that you would like to amend the trust deed or even trustees, the master will request you to appoint an independent trustee. Now, this causes you to have delays in the administration of the trust or when you wanted to transact. You may even take part of transactions that seems good on paper, but will put your trust at risk. And overall, you may not be administering the trust correctly.
Right. Well, if this information from Marishka sparked a little bit of interest for you, and you'd like to find out more and see how we can help you structure your investments and grow your family wealth with property, then click on the link in the description below for our online training. It's absolutely free and it's the best masterclass you will ever receive, and it will be the best way to start your wealth journey with the Wealth Masters Club. And of course, our incredible service providers just like Marishka. So until next time, we will see you then. Bye-bye.